What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Two Beans in a Pod. My name is Jose.
Jared right here.
And we're two brothers that are huge sports fans, so if you're as big of a sports fan as we are, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jose Talks Sports, or follow us on Spotify or wherever you find your podcast at Two Beans in a Pod. And on today's episode, we wanted to cover the Jimmy Garoppolo situation. Jimmy Garoppolo restructures his deal to a one-year contract, $6.5 million on the year. What are your immediate thoughts on the Niners retaining Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm actually happy, okay? See, with me, I like Jimmy or Trey, okay? There's really no wrong answer for me. And I know there's some people in the fans, like the Niner fans, you know, they have a certain opinion about Jimmy, okay? It's like, okay, I understand it, you know, like, you have your things against him or whatever. But to me, the way I look at it, he helped us make this relevant again. Because believe it or not, before we had him, we had what? Brian Hoyer as our quarterback.
Brian Hoyer was our original quarterback before him, and I agree with you. It's a lot of division between the fan base itself. A lot of people are divided on their feelings towards Jimmy. Yes, he helped us, you know, rebuild the culture of the Niners under Kyle Shanahan. But I could see why people aren't too big fans of him because of his limitations in terms of the turnovers and in terms of the health.
Yeah. But see, one thing I really like about Jimmy, he keeps everything professional, okay? You never hear him say anything bad, you know? It's like he's rarely in drama or anything.
Yeah, no, it's very rare for him to be caught off, you know, in terms of, bad publicity. Just a real leader on the football field, and I feel like he learned that during his time in New England with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady in terms of that discipline.
Yeah.
He's definitely someone that I'm happy to keep him on the roster, especially under the new deal. It's really team-friendly, and it helps us out in terms of cap.
Yeah, definitely.
So to have him as the backup and going forward with Trey, I think it's a great complementary to what happened last year where Jimmy was the starter and Trey was the backup, so he was learning from Jimmy. And now Trey is finally going to get that opportunity to be the starting quarterback of the team and still have Jimmy there for some pointers or just as a security blanket.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I think Jimmy is like the best backup now in the league right now.
Yeah, I think it's tough to come up with a better backup than Jimmy Garoppolo, especially because not many backups in the league have that Super Bowl experience, have that NFC Championship experience.
I think it's a better resume than all backups in the league right now, dude.
Yeah, I mean, again, it'd be far fetched to think of someone that has a bigger resume than Jimmy Garoppolo at this time. But I just think it's interesting with the San Francisco 49ers how we constantly have like these quarterback battles. And I'm not saying this one is on par with the ones of the past, but you look in like the last decade, the transition from Alex Smith to Colin Kaepernick.
I do remember that, actually.
And then you go even further back in time when, of course, Joe Montana and Steve Young. I feel like this is just a franchise that has always had the publicity and had the public eye on the transitions of their quarterback. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts in terms of the overall, arcing history of the Niners and the way they go about transitioning from quarterback to quarterback?
I actually kind of find it funny because pretty much, you ever heard the same history repeats itself?
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm not saying this is exactly how it was. Like these quarterbacks aren't the same level as Montana and Young are, but it's just kind of funny how like it happens like a lot now with this organization.
Yeah, and it's the third time in the last 30 years. Hopefully we could see similar results in terms of Super Bowl championships. I know with Montana and Young, they combined for 5 championships, 5 appearances. Mm-hmm. And with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, they only made 1 Super Bowl appearance with that roster, 3 straight NFC championship games. And with this roster currently comprised, I do think this is, again, a contending Super Bowl team. Whether it's this year or the year after, I do think that in the near future, I think they're going to get back. I'm very optimistic. I'm just a naturally optimistic person, and I do believe that this franchise is going to make it back to the mountaintop.
Yeah. I agree with everything that you said. My only concern is just the offensive line, but if they could do their part, I'm same with you, man.
Yeah, no, as long as everyone is takes care of their part and carries their own weight, whether that be the running back room, the tight ends, the defense, coaching, everyone has the opportunity and has the potential to ultimately win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the goal, just go to the promised land.
Yeah, no, of course, that's what every team is striving for. And speaking of Super Bowl, earlier today, or I should say earlier this week, we had a notification because we constantly have our notifications on regarding Bleacher Report or ESPN. And while we were at work during our shift, former 49er Richard Sherman, a member of that 2019 roster that went to the Super Bowl, commented his opinion on the Niners and that they were going to the Super Bowl and would defeat the Buffalo Bills this upcoming season, I should say. What are your immediate thoughts on Richard Sherman and his prediction? And what's your overall feelings about Richard Sherman with the Niners?
Okay, see, with me, I believe in superstitions, okay, and jinxes, and me reading that, I'm like, oh, well, that's no good, because I believe like jinxes and all that, and I feel like he pretty much kind of jinxed the season away, and I don't want to be a negative person, Hey, maybe we can do it, maybe we can, who knows? But it's like, okay, it's cool. I do believe in the confidence, I'm glad,
Yeah.
But I don't want to get my hopes up every single time, because like I don't want to be a Cowboys fan saying every year it's our year, but like in the end, they never get what they want.
They never achieve anything, and it's a shame. But I'm with you in terms of speaking before acting, and especially for a guy that's not on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, versus that, what if a guy on the roster had said that?
I feel like there'll be even more pressure though, because okay, like you're on the team, you got to prove it though. Okay.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. That's why it doesn't really affect me that much that Richard Sherman said that, because it's just that confidence, and he knows the system, he knows the culture there.
Yeah.
And so it speaks a lot to what Kyle and John Lynch have been building there in San Francisco. And I would love it to be true, whether it's the Bills or whether it's the Bengals or whoever from the AFC. If we win one, I don't care who it's against. I would love it nonetheless.
And same here. Like, I don't care who we face. I don't care who's the quarterback. I just want to win. Okay?
We could literally win by 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. We can win by 50 points. I don't care. As long as they get that W, as long as they get that win and they reach the mountaintop and they reach the pinnacle of NFL, what more could you ask for?
Yeah.
It's something I can't wait for. In terms of us winning a Super Bowl, that is. Because I know dude, eventually it has to happen.
It has to happen, okay?
We don't want to be around for so long, like certain franchises, and having, nothing to show for it.
The way I look at it, if the Browns or the Lions win a Super Bowl before us, then there's something wrong, okay? I feel like with this team we have right now, I think we're in really good shape.
I think so too. I think we do, like I said, we have the building blocks, we have the foundation already set, everything's in motion, it's just a matter of doing it now. And the one thing you can't control is the other teams, because let's look at the LA Rams, for example. They made moves last season. They got Odell Beckham Jr., they got Von Miller, who they lost actually to Buffalo now this upcoming season. But regardless, we cannot control that. So for teams to go out and be aggressive and do that, okay, good for them. And that's why we need to be aggressive as well, and we need to go forward and get the best of the best. That's why we got a guy like Trent Williams. That's why we got a guy like Richard Sherman, a few years ago. But I still think we are, like you said, key pieces away from like the offensive line and the secondary. Those are the two parts of the football team that I feel like we need to address.
See, and now you got me thinking, okay? So you say, how like our core team is, everyone, like we're in great hands. I just thought this right now, okay? Who won this past Super Bowl?
The Rams.
Okay, who won the Super Bowl before?
The Chiefs. Oh, excuse me, the Buccaneers, and then the Chiefs.
What do they have in common? They both, their main guys that they have, that helped them, they traded for them. But with us, we actually drafted our key players. And I feel like that's one thing I would say we're good at. And I know recently, like this week, we cut Trey Sermon, okay? It sucks, but the way I look at it, he's a third-round pick, okay? And he's a running back. And we all know how much Shanahan loves running backs, okay?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me we cut a third-rounder running back, and we got more running backs in the room? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we have more running backs than wide receivers actually right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was true. And, one thing with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they've been really good at attaining talent in the running back room.
Yeah.
But the one thing is, you look at the guys they get from the undrafted list.
I feel like the undrafted, that's where like our strong suit's at, though.
Yeah, we got several guys from the undrafted list. And like you said, Trey Sermon, who we waived earlier this week, was a third-round pick. And it's a shame because it would have been a second season. Mm-hmm. Last year was his rookie season. And now without him, it kind of gives off the impression of like, oh, he was a bust. And I always hate doing that, but let's be honest, that's basically what it says. We'll see if he can make any other roster in the NFL. I'm sure there's other teams that are...
sorry to cut you off.
No,
I think he got signed with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Really?
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles. Which is interesting enough because last year they were the number one rushing team in the league. Mm-hmm. So to add a guy like Trey Sermon, who is a physical player, he's a big back who can go through the opposing lines. It's just a matter of being healthy. That was his issue. Yeah,
availability was like one of the issues with us. But I think it didn't hurt us because we got guys like Elijah Mitchell who did pretty well last year. And on top of that, we also had Debo, who's also pretty much running as well, even though he's a wide receiver.
Yeah, and I can't confirm. I'm looking it up as well. Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles claim Trey Sermon, running back from the San Francisco 49ers. Good for the Eagles, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did like what I saw last year. I mean, we looked at his highlights the other day. Long highlight reel. They showed all of his touchdown plays. It was only 6 seconds long of a clip.
Yep.
No, but in all seriousness, good luck to Trey Sermon. Good luck to the Philadelphia Eagles.
I heard recently we cut Dante Johnson. Anything about him?
Okay, so any fans out there, like true fans of the San Francisco 49ers, you know the name Dante Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
One of the all-elite cornerbacks. I know, excuse me. I'm talking about Trey and Jimmy for so long. Cornerbacks that we sign him, we cut him, we sign him, we cut him, and it's just an ever-revolving door with Dante Johnson. I feel for the guy because at this point you're just playing with his emotions.
Yeah, I think it's we signed for the 15th time. At this time, put his number in the Ring of Fame, okay?
You might as well. I mean, this guy's been in and out of the door so much, you would think he was a delivery service.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel for Dante Johnson, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's back with the team and then we cut him again by the end of the year. I'm sure there's going to be a couple more transactions within the next calendar year with Dante Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know. But again, that's what happens when you need cornerbacks. We've gone through so many of them in the last decade, and we haven't really had our cornerstone at that position for so long.
I feel like the last one we had was probably Sherman, but even then it was for a few years or so.
It wasn't even for that long. It felt really quick. It was really brief. Well, we got him in 2018, I believe.
Something like that.
And then 2021? 2020?
The 2020-21 season.
Yeah, again, very brief, and it's just and then everything that happened in his personal life, and then the his home life. Again, I don't have to go too deep into that. If you know, you know. If not, look it up. But that was briefly before he was signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I do remember that, actually.
It's crazy, right?
Oh, yeah.
To see him bounce. So, yeah, he went to the Buccaneers in 2021, I think. The year after the Super Bowl, because he didn't get a ring with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had him from 2018 to 2020. Only 3 seasons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. With the season coming up, San Francisco 49ers, like I keep mentioning, we keep hyping it up. They face the Chicago Bears. It's going to be in Chicago, Soldiers Field. Real quick, what are your thoughts on the way the team's been looking, and how are you feeling about the season? I know I feel like I've asked this question last week, but now that we have another week of of cuts and signings and really fleshing out what the roster is going to be like, overall, what is your hope and what is your interpretation of what the team's looking like?
Well, okay. Obviously, my hopes and dreams is obviously to go to the promised land. Okay,
no, of course.
But this upcoming season, I feel like this team is uptight and they know their goal. Okay, they know last year what happened, how far they were in the playoffs, and what happened in the aftermath. And I feel like they're just frustrated and they're tired. I feel like not tired, but it's they're frustrated to the point where they're gonna unleash some havoc. Okay, I feel like the defensive side, especially the defense. Okay, what if it's a secondary, the defensive line? I feel like this defense is gonna be scary. Okay,
would you even say? I feel like this defense might be. I don't know. I just got a feeling this defense might be better than 2019.
I know. I have a feeling too. Have you seen how many people we have on the defensive line?
We are so loaded at the defensive line, and we have a stacked depth of athletes there, and at the linebacker position, which I feel like we've always had a good linebacker room.
Yeah.
In the last recent years, but you talk about guys like Armstead, Bosa, Drake Jackson, Kerry Hyder. We
got him back actually.
Yeah, we got him back from Seattle. He spent a short stint in Seattle. Speaking of Seattle, you look at Russell Wilson, who's now with the Broncos. Signs an extension 5 years.
I saw that
with Denver. Good for him. Good for Denver. To finally settle on a quarterback, and good for him for getting his money.
Yeah, he's unlimited.
Oh, Mr. Unlimited. Yeah. That was such a cringy video. Him trying to put the phrase "unlimited" over. I still can't get over it.
I don't know. He's a nice guy, but it's it didn't work.
It didn't work, and it's okay. You try it out. It didn't work. Whatever. But every time I see that on my timeline, I have to watch it because it's just god awful. I'm glad we don't have to face him, twice a year.
Yeah, that is true.
But we do got to face him once this year.
Well, we do got to face Geno Smith 2 times a year.
Okay? Yeah, that's if he makes it for the second game.
Oh, dang.
How do we know they don't end up putting in Drew Lock?
No, and on top of that, in my opinion, let me ask you a question, because I feel like you always ask me questions, okay?
Yeah.
What do you think of the Seattle's offensive line?
Abysmal. That's why, Russell Wilson left. They couldn't protect. You see how many times he had to run out of the pocket, scramble. He couldn't protect. He couldn't get any protection. That's why he left.
Now look at our defensive line now. Okay, I think this defensive line is going to be scarier than what it was back in 2019.
Hungry. They're licking their lips like me at the next buffet line. Like they are going to be hungry to face the Seattle Seahawks. I genuinely believe we're going to sweep them.
Yeah,
I think we're going to, because we always struggle with Seattle for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
We can always split with Arizona. In the last few years, we've beaten the Rams, with the exception of the NFC Championship. But with Seattle, they've always given us just issues, man. Like, for some reason, we've always struggled with them.
Ever since, like, the whole Harbaugh era, you know, it's like...
Ever since Pete Carroll got there.
Yeah, I feel like I had, like, hatred towards Seattle, you know? And one thing, like, one thing I'll never forget about Seattle was when the Raul Bowman got hurt in the NFC Championship game. Yep. I will never forget about that. Yep. The fan base was toxic right there. Like, that's another human being. Like, are you really going to throw trash at him? Like, come on.
You'd be surprised, too. There are some classless football. And it's not just, you know, I'm not
targeting... Not just football alone, but then sports alone. Because I feel like Boston fans, in any sport, they're reckless, okay?
I mean, remember, you want to talk about reckless. How about Philadelphia when they won the Super Bowl? They were climbing all these, you know, light posts.
Wasn't that one video where they flipped the car over?
Yeah, they flipped the car over in Philadelphia when they won the Super Bowl.
Hey, but Philly fans, there's something else. There's something else.
Yeah, I know. And again, every fan base has their own sense of, you know, being diehard. But there's limitations to this. Yeah. You can't be flipping cars over.
But there's one fan base that I do like, okay? And that's the Bills fan base.
Bills Mafia. Mad respect to Bills Mafia. Yeah. We had a neighbor who was a Bills fan. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't even get mad. Like, when we lost to the Bills a couple seasons ago, I couldn't even get mad because I like the Bills Mafia. Yeah. I like Josh Allen. I like that team.
Yeah, no. And what I like about the fans... I don't know why, but I think it's because, like, I grew up with wrestling, but I like it when they break tables.
Okay? Oh, yeah, when they bust through the tables?
Yeah. I don't know. I just grew up with wrestling, seeing people going through tables, you know. I don't know. I just like seeing that, okay?
Yeah. No, I don't know what it is about... Okay, maybe
it's just, like, the adrenaline rush.
Oh, it is the adrenaline rush, but I don't know what it is about seeing grown adults not getting hurt, but, like, putting themselves in those situations, because I like seeing people go through tables. It's well known that we're wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Football is a very violent sport.
Mm-hmm.
We're boxing fans. By the way, September 17th, Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G 3 coming out on DAZN. Looking forward to that.
Can't wait for that one.
What is it about? What is it about, like, human beings, specifically, I guess, males, that just like violence? I don't know what it is. It's in our nature.
I don't know, man. Well, keep in mind, back then, you know, the Roman times, they had the whole gladiator thing going on.
The Colosseum. That's right. That's right. I mean, you even go further. You look at, like, the cavemen. They were, you know, I don't want to say they were very aggressive, but the way they're portrayed in terms of, like, the way they hunt or the way they feed, I just feel like it's in our innate nature as human beings that for some reason violence just attracts, you know?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the NFL season coming up, and just as I mentioned, boxing, Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G3, looking forward to that. September 17th, we'll be covering that the week after. It airs, of course. We're going to watch that. Next week, it'll be, you know, around this time next week, we'll have one NFL game done. It'll be the Bills versus the LA Rams playing at SoFi Stadium. They will receive their championship banner. I believe they'll be receiving their championship rings as well.
I don't know, man. I don't like the Rams.
I was going to say, we wouldn't know. We haven't won a championship since 95.
Yeah, unfortunately. I wasn't even born. You weren't even born? Hell, even the Nintendo 64 wasn't even released.
I'm telling you, man, it's been too long. We're well overdue. So by the time we get to next week, we will definitely be able to cover the Rams versus the Bills game. See how that goes. Hopefully the Bills do us a favor and beat the Rams. That way we can get a little head start in the division.
Please.
But for now, brother, let me know where people can find you on social media.
Okay, ladies and gents. So, you can find me on YouTube, you know, SanFran5, you know. Friday, or today, actually, I would release a video, part 3 of part 3. Well, another part to the whole Resident Evil the modded Resident Evil 2 series, you know. I have fun with it. You can also find me on Twitch, you know, twitch.tv/SanFran5. I'll also be live at probably around 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Would you say that's your typical time, or does it vary for you?
It varies, but usually Fridays is at 6 to like 7 p.m. That's when I begin. You know, maybe a little bit early, you know, have a pre-show going on. But yeah, you can also find me on Snapchat, you know, of course, you know, Broke_Beaner 445, you know. I got too excited. I'm sorry, I messed up, okay?
Gotta get it right.
Let me repeat it again. Broke_Beaner 445, you know. It's hard to forget, okay? Or is it? I don't know. All right?
I don't know either. I mean, apparently, you kind of botched it right there, but you fixed it. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish, right?
Sure.
That's right.
Stay tuned, everyone.
Stay tuned indeed. That's right. You can find him at broke_beaner445.
And YouTube, SanFran5. Please subscribe, everyone. You should check it out. I think it's pretty fun.
Follow the channel. Watch his gameplay. Support his channel and support what he does.
Yes.
This has been another episode of Two Beans in a Pod. You can find me on all social media sites at JustJose_3. Be sure to follow my YouTube channel, Jose Talk Sports, where you can find my weekly updates surrounding the NFL, specifically our San Francisco 49ers. And with the NBA season around the corner, expect some more basketball content as well. You can find every episode of this podcast on this channel, as well as on Spotify or wherever you can find your podcasts. Once again, thank you for dropping by and talking sports with us. And if you enjoyed these episodes, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jose Talk Sports. As always, my name is Jose.
Jared over here.
And we have been Two Beans and a Pod.
You mean to tell me that Xbox was even made when we won a Super Bowl?
Dude, there was a lot of stuff that was not even made last time we won a Super Bowl.